Sir. Good morning, everybody.
Ma'am, before you start, sorry to interrupt you. Please finish the presentation in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you. You can alert me 3 minutes before.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
But you keep
Uh,
your time also.
I'm sorry, sir.
You should also.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So, good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Rajni, Deputy Director, Mental Health, Psychiatrist from Department of Health and Family Welfare, Government of Karnataka. So, I will be presenting on E-Manas, that is Karnataka Mental Health Care Management System. So all of us are aware that 10% of the people are having mental health problems. This is according to the National Mental Health Survey 2015-16, which is the recent most that is available for us, which was conducted through NIMHANS in collaboration with Government of India, wherein 13 states were, assessed. So which is a huge burden. That is mental health burden globally is quite huge. And my presentation will be in terms of introduction, brief about the Mental Health Care Act 2017, which is a landmark act which has come in 2017. And then the E-Manas portal, which is first in its kind in India, and that is done only in Karnataka. And then the conclusions. So to see a little background, why Mental Health Act, why the portal, all those things. So few shocking cases that are there in the history are, one example is 54 years, one person was left in prison for a very petty crime. Shocking plight of a 77-year-old man, Macho Lawlong, was arrested in 1951 when he was just 23-year-old. He was released after the intervention of National Human Rights Commission and Supreme Court at the age of 74, offense under Section 326, that is voluntarily causing grievous injuries. It was not a big crime, but still he was there in the jail for a very long time. And this was the plight in, few years back in a religious rehabilitation center, wherein mentally ill were chained together. And even if they have to go out to washroom, they have to go together like this, which was a very pathetic state. And this was a state in one of the mental health hospitals long back. So this is a plight of many wandering mentally ill who are stuck in streets. And many rehabs, we have read that, suddenly some raids were there and 130 rescued. So a lot of these things are happening in and around from many years, and even now, though it has reduced, it is not, we can see these things. So why do we need mental health legislation? One is like constitution also says that, health is a state subject and mental health is part of health. And to protect them, their human rights violations, the legal framework also enforces the policy program plans to uphold the autonomy, dignity and liberty of the patients, access to treatment, which is a right now, and then safety of community and others. So to come to a brief about Mental Health Care Act 2017, which is a landmark act in the history. So there is a paradigm shift from custodial care of persons with mental illness to the 1987 treatment of persons with mental illness to the protecting human rights during the treatment. So the paradigm shift is like the protecting patients versus protecting society, institutional care versus community care, and then the seclusion versus inclusion. So now the idea is inclusion instead of seclusion. And then the joint venture of government and NGOs, it is now the right to take an access or treatment to the mental health than the charity. So Mental Health Care Act has it's a huge act wherein 16 chapters are there. It contains 126 classes. So chapters include definitions, advanced directives, nominated representatives, rights of patients, mental health authority, duties of the appropriate government, mental health review boards, mental health establishments, how the admissions should be, treatment, discharge, etc. So, right to equality and non-discrimination, equal to persons with mental health should be, equal to the persons with physical illness in the provision of all health care. Obligation of the state to provide emergency facilities and emergency services. And if you have seen, the insurance was not covered for mental illnesses. Now it is mandatory for all the medical insurances, including Ayushman Bharat Arogya Karnataka. Ayushman Bharat of the Pradhan Mantri scheme also has 17 packages in mental health now. So which is a very, very welcome thing. So, and then the implementation authorities like Central Mental Health Authority has to be there, State Mental Health Authority should be there, and then district mental health review boards should be there to take care of the rights of mentally ill. So a lot of other things are there in Mental Health Act. Why I am telling about the Mental Health Act is it is the state's responsibility to implement this Mental Health Care Act by letter and spirit. So section 115 of the bill also says that 307, which was attempt to suicide in the IPC, was there. Now a person that is decriminalized now. A person who attempts suicide shall be presumed to be suffering from mental illness that is supposed to be under severe stress and at that time, and will not be punished under the Indian Penal Code. This is also a landmark decision, I mean, that is there in the act. So the Mental Health Care Act mandates us to protect rights of person, right to protection from cruel, inhuman, degrading treatment, right to make complaints about the deficiency of services, right to community living, right to access basic medical records, right to make advance directive and nominated representative, right to confidentiality, right to access mental health care. So no state can do this without interactive digital portal. That is Karnataka for the first time thought of an interactive portal 2 years back to implement Mental Health Care Act by letter and spirit. So to talk about e-Manas, Karnataka Mental Health Management System, which is being developed in collaboration with NIMHANS and IIITB in Karnataka. This project is the first of its kind innovative approach in India. An online portal is conceptualized and developed to bring together all the stakeholders in the mental health field in the state of Karnataka. The portal is designed in compliance with Mental Health Care Act 2017. Persons with mental illness, their caregivers, mental health establishments, mental health professionals, and regulatory bodies like Karnataka State Mental Health Authority and District Mental Health Review Boards are brought together under a single online web-based solution to provide integrated and seamless mental health care services delivery. So the main objectives is establishing state level registry for all mental health professionals, establishments and patient data, enabling compliance with Mental Health Care Act and rules, end-to-end digitization of mental health care management. And then on overview, e-Manas interactive portal has mental health establishment and profession directory, EHR data registry and patient self-help portal, mental health authority and mental health review board portal is there. And then there is a provision to integrate with Ayushman Bharat Arogya Karnataka, 104, which is free health helpline, 108, which is ferrying mentally ill also, along with other emergency patients. And then health establishments like PHC, CHC, district hospital, taluka hospitals will come under one mental health authority where they will be registering. And then the NIMHANS and also come under this ambit. So this is an online registration. This is the portal of establishment and professionals where all the mental health professionals across the state have to register through this online portal under Karnataka Mental Health State Authority. That is psychiatrists, psychologists, social worker and psychiatric nurses will be registering. Already we have started registration of the mental health professionals and the establishments. This is a clinical module where we have provisions for history, prescriptions, supported admissions, consent, and then movement and data sharing. Data sharing will happen only with the patient's consent. And there is something called advance directive and nominated representative in this new act. Advance directive is something that any citizen in the country can do a will how he should be treated or how he should not be treated when he becomes mentally ill. So this has to be registered as an online portal under mental health review boards, and state has to provide this whenever a patient comes to a psychiatrist. Like I'm a psychiatrist, when a patient comes and sits in front of me, I have to ask him whether he has made an advance directive. If he says yes, there should be state provision where I click of a button, I will see his advance directive. For example, he would have written, I don't need injection flufenazine, so I have to go for other medication. If he has written, I want only Ayurvedic medicine, I think I have to give him that option also. So nominated representative also has to be registered. That is, till now, the family used to represent the mentally ill, but now the person, when he has capacity and major, can put anybody like a friend as his nominated representative, who can decide on his behalf in case he becomes severely mentally ill. And there is also a grievance portal here. Grievance can be submitted by the patient, caregiver, nominated representative, and any NGO. And then the mental health against the mental health establishment and mental health professional also. So these things also will be solved. So governance module also is taken care of, where there is a portal for mental health authority and mental health review boards. Registration requests need to be approved by state mental health authority, addressing of grievances by mental health review boards, uploading of advanced directives through mental health review boards, dashboard for mental health establishment and mental health review boards. All these things have been provided in this e-portal. And then there is also a guidance for usage and adoption, like user guides, FAQs, and then the feedbacks and suggestions can also be given to suggestions.mhms@gmail.com. And then this is eManas web portal and web links that we have: registration portal, authority, clinical portal, and patient portal. So many challenges we have faced while developing this in past 2 years. It needed a consensus to be built up for defining components and variables of basic medical records and other formats. The functionality and potential of a software platform had to be balanced with the minimum specified legal requirement. The key technical challenge was development of standard in mental health e-records, where none existed, as against the practice traditionally accepted and adopted in paper and pen records till now. And then the operational challenges, like the rollout of software platform has happened in stages and followed the principle of from known to unknown. Lingering operational challenge is validating the user, and this opened a, like lot of challenges we have faced, and the transparency provided within the process of nominated representative and advanced directive as specified in law is new to existing system. This needs to be tested on ground. Functioning of the platform, like the governance practices involved are, functioning of the platform is reviewed on monthly basis by the Commissioner Health, who is also a CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Karnataka State Mental Health Authority. The joint monitoring team comprising of our Mental Health Division, Government of Karnataka, NIMHANS, Department of Psychiatry, Bangalore Medical College, and IIITB, we all sit weekly and review this. A WhatsApp group is also there for to and fro communication. So to implement all these things, Karnataka has implemented district mental health program across the state in all the districts in Karnataka, and also covered all the talukas under mental health care through what is called as Super Tuesday clinics and Mano Chaitanya programs. This is like how meticulously we have done from past 2 years to develop this e-portal, like more than 230 emails, Zoom meetings, in-person meetings, steering committee meetings, apex committee meetings, on-site visits, weekly user acceptance testing, etc. What are the benefits of this e-portal? The key objective of this platform are digitization of mental health care in Karnataka and facilitating compliance with Mental Health Care Act 2017, which is mandatory. This platform facilitates replacing the manual register. This helps in enabling data portability and accessibility, leveraging a centralized database for demographic and clinical data of patients. The key functionality is that it integrates other public health care, IT, and e-governance system of the state, and it's very easy for the patients. Like he can move from one district to another district, and he need not carry his paper and details. With his OTP consent, other doctors can also view his basic medical records, and compliance will be very easy for him, and he can continue the medication. As you know, the psychiatric problems have long-term medication implication, and if they are treated very well without compliance problem, they will be back on track and in the community like any other people. So the EMNS platform has been designed to ensure general applicability of, why I'm telling this is it is very replicable model, and the platform has been designed to ensure general applicability of the platform for all mental health care services within and outside the state. The design is highly customizable, and configuration and setup for other states requires minimal efforts. So the platform can be scaled up to support other states of the country. Two states have already evinced keen interest in implementing the solution. Already Maharashtra has come up, they have requested us to share this because Karnataka is the only state wherein we have done this. While a national platform can be constructed, it can also be established as a separate instance for each of the states. And then in conclusion, eManus is a cloud-based online platform that brings together all the stakeholders in mental health field. The portal is designed and developed in compliance to the Mental Health Care Act 2017. The portal provides simple solution for registering of the mental health establishments and professionals. All the establishments and professionals across the state, both public and private, will be linked through this unique interface. Persons with mental illness would be provided special IDs for clinical care in all the linked hospitals. Basic medical records, which is also mandatory as per law, would be prepared and stored as stipulated in legislation. Persons with mental illness will have access to their details and have options to raise grievances and upload advance directives online. The online portal is linked to Karnataka private medical establishment institutions, Ashman Bharat Assurance Scheme, 104 Arogya Sahayamani for easy registration and establishments, persons with mental illness and better coordination, clinical service delivery. Regulatory bodies are provided with special portals for smoother administrative efforts and importantly to monitor and supervise the implementation of Mental Health Care Act 2017. Last slide. The online record of all registered establishments and professionals would help to notify the state and central authorities. The available data about mental health care establishments and clinical services may lead to pertinent epidemiological research and ultimately informed policy decisions to improve mental health care service delivery. eManus is the first in the country digital solution prepared to assist mental health care service delivery and to make it easily accessible, affordable, and accountable. So this was launched by our Honorable Chief Minister on 26th June. And as I said, it is up and running, and we have started registration of our mental health professionals now. And as the days go ahead, people will have a list of mental health establishments, mental health professionals with click of a button, and they can actually go and go to whichever establishments they want. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a very good initiative and well conceived, digital application in addressing to the mental health problems and the mental health issue across the state. But one thing I would like to ask you, that is the most of the things are come as per the MSC Act 2007 provisions. That's very good. And you have taken good time in explaining it to all that. Now, at the district level, since the mental health affected person is not having the capacity to handle issues by himself or herself, how do you manage coordinating with such people at the grassroots level and get them into digital registration and also attend to them time to time as per the requirement of the treatment or counseling, what may be?
Yeah.
So some of the things, could you reflect on this?
Yes, sir. Sir, this is a very good question. Sir, severe mental disorder comprises only of 1% of the population. Common mental disorders are, around 10% in the population. So the insight goes only when, the person is very severely mentally ill. This portal basically, whenever lot of awareness programs like through the district mental health program, that's why I mentioned it. We are doing around 60,000 capacity building across the state, like starting from Asha, Anganwadi, faith healers, everybody is trained and the PHC medical officers how to identify mental illness, how to start first line treatment. So this portal, what happens is whenever a person comes to the Taluka hospital or district hospital or primary healthcare center, instead of just giving him a piece of paper and giving risperidone or antipsychotic or antidepressant, there will be a digital registry. So the advantage is I am giving him an unique ID with registration like whatever Aadhaar or other things. So when he moves from one place to other place, like from Bidar to Bangalore, so it is quite far. He might have left his records there, but with one OTP consent of the patient, I can retrieve his old data and give him a correct treatment. So these are all the things. And moreover, as I said, act is like very elaborate. Like you have to register advance directive, nominated representative, mental health establishments have to register. So in the previous act and all, like de-addiction centers and other establishments, they were not at all registered. So patients, when they come to our hospitals, they will be registered and they'll be given unique IDs in this.
No, the issue again, to
Yes,
my
sir.
mind, is that, see, only once is registered,
Yes.
things are reflected as used to be.
Yeah.
The thing is that, as you know, in the hinterland, the mental health is conceived by different people in different ways because it's the
Yes, sir.
cultural expression. It's not illness.
Yeah.
It is a sickness. So the construct of illness is a social construct. The sickness is a medical concept. You know it very well.
Yes.
So when this faith healers and all this, they have primarily available to them to address to the problem the way they want to, notwithstanding the efficacy. And they often don't let the patient come to your portal. And they
Sir, the only answer
Let me
is increasing the awareness
I'm
and
not completing
reducing.
my question.
Yeah.
Please.
Sir,
So,
sir. You, yeah.
so the issue that how do you address these localized problems at the grassroots level when the person with the mental health problem is not able to reach your portal? As something comes in between as a hindrance, preventing him to register. Only thing advantage is that when he registers, then should all the services that you are giving come to in use. So how do you ensure that the universal coverage and without missing any mental health person? So that was the issue.
Yeah. Sir, basically, as you rightly pointed out, there is a lot of stigma and discrimination about the mental health issues, and people have their own understanding of mental health issues. But nowadays, because of the huge awareness campaigns, what we have been doing, and huge sensitization programs, what we are doing, the stigma and discrimination is coming down. And the only answer what I have is that from the grassroots level, from the community level, we have been doing a lot of awareness campaigns to reduce these myths. Like, this is because of somebody has done black magic. That's why I have got this severe mental illness. And invariably, they may go to temples, they may go to, faith healers. So that is why we are, sensitizing everybody around in the community so that they can bring back the patients to the facility and to the treatment ambit. So those who are missed actually through ASHA workers, Anganwadis, and the sub-centers like Ashma, health and wellness centers, which is also our, Honorable Prime Minister's, very big initiative. Even in the health and wellness centers, which is very nearest to the doorstep of the people, we have been sensitizing these mid-level health providers. So who are there, one sub-center is there for 5,000 population, and that is the nearest place where we can provide the mental health care services. So there also we have been catering to the mentally ill. So that is the nearest we have been going. So those patients who come, register, but lost for follow-up, we are planning to follow them up through 104 services also, where the person will get a call if he misses his appointments. That this will also happen with the consent of the patient and the family members, because anonymity and confidentiality is also one of the legal thing that we have to follow.
Okay, good.
Now, I have one basic question. Who is mentally ill? As you know, in Sushant Singh Rajput case, which is very live to us. There were two psychiatrists. One was telling he was mentally ill. The other said he was not. So who will decide a person is mentally ill, or the person himself will say, I'm not ill. But the two psychiatrists, they may say, no, you are ill. So that is one thing which is hitting my mind. Secondly, as far as your project is concerned, you have just started in June 20, no?
No, sir. This is developed from past 2 years.
Past 2 years.
The
So,
software was developed in the past 2 years,
so I-
and that has been launched in June, and it is up and running. It's an ongoing thing, sir.
yeah, but I would like to know how many these mentally ill are there on your register.
Sir,
And-
now the outpatient registration has not started. We have started the registration of mental health professionals now. So, and mental health establishments. Soon we are launching the OP registration. Apart from that, in our manual registration, which is their e-monitoring system, we have around 10.5 lakh consultations last year just in public health institutions.
because any system, ultimately it should lead to improvement in the mental health of the people in your area. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So whether it is e-manas or it is physically, I mean, manually you have been doing. So what difference has it made? Has any evaluation been done at your?
It is not yet, sir. Not yet, sir. It is in the initial stages.
You will have-
Evaluation will be done. Evaluation will be done soon, sir.
Yeah, that how the system is working, right?
Yes.
So can you answer my first question, which was who decides that a person is mentally ill or not?
Sir, actually, instead of taking one case, as you mentioned, psychiatry, it is very, very clear, sir, when we call a person as mentally ill. But what we are talking is not only the severe mental disorder wherein the person loses, insight. There are many more common mental disorders like depression, anxiety, alcohol, substance abuse, personality disorders, obsessive compulsive disorder, generalized anxiety, wherein I don't lose the insight. I know that I'm sad. I know that I'm not sleeping. I know that I have, physical issues. I know that I have relationship issues. So all these come under common mental disorders. So, and one more thing I want to tell you, like for example, acute psychosis. A person comes to a psychiatrist today. He comes to me and today he has acute psychosis. Once he started an antipsychotic, within 1 to 2 weeks, he improves. So at the time of examination, what is his mental health state? What is his mental health examination? That depends, sir. So I would have diagnosed him as acute psychosis. After antipsychotic, he would recover. It is not a permanent ailment, sir. So they recover, and after 3 weeks, if I assess, he will be, if he doesn't give me the history and if I assess him, if he doesn't have any delusions, hallucinations, then it is like I may sell at this point of time, today's mental health examination, he is normal. So this is how the problems arise, sir. Otherwise, if they give clear history, then I would diagnose him as acute psychosis under remission. So this is how the problems differ, our diagnosis differ. That's all. So otherwise, there is nothing like one psychiatrist told he has acute psychosis, another psychiatrist is telling he is completely normal. So it can happen, sir. Depression is not lifelong. So I might go through depression for 2 weeks. Once I have counseling, once I have antidepressant, I will be all right in next 4 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Like,
Yes,
now,
sir.
one question I would like to ask you, see, now this is a related question, is that you see, there are different criteria, different methods, or different ways that the mental health has been assessed or projected.
Yeah.
Census does in a different criteria. WHO has done a different criteria. So there is a conflict in this. You are aware of that. So now, what is that we should resolve to? That this is a mental health problem and across various degrees and various ways. Now, there are, I mean, a person with mental disability can only come to you when he has some ability. So how do you reach to them? They are not in a position until you come to the physical contact or somebody brings details of him to your portal. We are unaware. So how do we have this reach out to the Number two is that you see among in the data that you have, what is the proportion of the aged population? What is the proportion of women? What is the proportion of children? And what are the category? How do you classify them? And how do you categorize people as per their number of cases? Number three, that is, what is your estimation of positive 10%? You said of the 10%, how much you have attended? Have you attended the optimum?
In our public health institutions, we cater to around 30% of the overall population, sir, in any category of mental illness, whether it is common mental disorders like depression, anxiety, OCD, alcohol, substance abuse, personality disorders, or severe mental disorders. For your question of how we reach the people, as you said, unless they know, they will not come. So the strategies what we are using is the wide advertisement and wide awareness programs till the community level, and then the house visits by the community workers, and then once they register, maintaining the compliance. So these are all the strategies what we have been following. This has paid a lot of results in terms of, like, it was only 40,000 consultations what we were giving in 2015-16. So after we have started the community awareness programs and training programs, it has gradually increased to 6 lakhs and then to 10 lakhs, and last year it is 10.5 lakhs consultations. So the overall we have been able to reach to 30% of the population in any category, sir.
So are the ASHA workers, Anganwadi workers are provided some orientation into the...
Yes,
you
sir.
know,
Yes, sir. Every year they have been sensitized and retrained on all these things. So we do up to around 60,000 capacity building. All the medical officers have been trained, and we do online hand holding also to the PHC medical officers, wherein they can recognize. So last year, around 2 lakh people have been catered to at the primary healthcare level, and around 2.5 lakh people have been catered at the taluka level itself, and the patients need not come to the district level also. And then around 6,000 house visits also have been made by the community mental health team, wherein patients severe mentally ill have dropped out of the treatment ambit.
Good. Good luck, and I hope you will provide even maximize even further. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the presentation.